All right, I'd like to welcome everyone. Usually Iris hops on now. Those of you who have been here every single week is aware that I am not as polished a launch as Iris is for the session. So we are really, really thrilled to have both of the Juan Matutes with us this evening. To discuss dressage at large and their specific journeys. So happy to have you both with us. There's so much to learn from both of you. And I would love to really not take up too much time other than to let everyone know to go ahead and submit questions in the chat. I will keep an eye out for that, but we'll keep everyone's video off and muted just so that we can keep the conversation going. And I will warn everyone as well that if my internet gets choppy, we're going to do the best that we can. I am in a hotel, so things are out of my control, which I don't love, as everyone knows. All right, I'd like to turn it over to you if you'd like to both maybe just give our audience a little update on where you're both at right now and what's been happening, so they're updated on the news of the last week. And then we can get into things.
Hello, everybody. Well, yes, I'm Juan Matute Jr. This is my father, Senior. Yes. And we are in Wellington at the moment. We flew here to try to earn the qualification for the World Cup final in Leipzig, which is just in a couple of weeks. And we have achieved the goal. We have earned the qualification. And overall success. We did the World Cup at the beginning of February, then the 5-star, we placed third there, and then we won the last freestyle in the 4-star, CDI 4-star this last weekend, and it was
with 80%.
most successful show thus far in the Wellington seasons that we've done ever, with an 80%, huge, mind blowing. Now we're just waiting until the days go by and flying over to the Netherlands and competing at the World Cup final
and learn from the good ones.
And hopefully, yes, I would like to learn from the good riders and just begin getting experienced and learning how to ride with them and compete and hopefully try to do the best we can.
That's fantastic. And I know for your father, this is not a new experience in its entirety, but one of the questions a member submitted to me already earlier was how has this process changed since you went through it, back when you went to the Olympics? What is different now that you might point out for everyone?
Okay, the truth and the quality of the horses and also the level of the young riders is a huge improvement in the new generation. And then I need to say, because they have the lucky to have all this internet and all this new system, they can really see in live stream shows around the world and makes a huge impact on them, And that's why, of course, at that time, we were only few able to go in these levels. And now new generation are going. It's normal to see young kids like 20, 22, 24, 25, like Juan's in this big Grand Prix level, what is really impressive. Yeah.
That's very interesting. And wanted to ask also, in terms of the youth programs, you've seen quite a few firsthand examples of the various youth programs in different countries. Could you speak a little on the differences there and what other people do well and what we have to improve?
Okay, I'm very impressed about the support you have in the United States with the youth programs. It's really, really impressive. It's actually, I really follow the London Gray program for kids, and it's really a big impact for the future generation. In Spain, for example, we don't have that much help with these things. Everyone needs to do by his own and then try to find his own program, his own training, what is not so good. It's not so easy for us in Europe. But very lucky for the youth generation in this country have these programs and big support. And for me, they're in the right way to continue. Because in the end, this is also I try to explain my students on Juan. Everybody's confused about to be success, you need to own a lot of money, to have big sponsor behind, what is not true. You need a good education, you need a good training programs, and then with a strategy. And then, of course, you need a basic good horse. It's getting more and more difficult every time, we know that. But without riding with the principal classic and training and horsemanship, This is something I really insist in the kids. Be aware, be careful about the competition. It's not only about this, it's the daily program. It's how you improve, how you make step by step the progress. That's matter if you are successful or not in the beginning. In the end of the road, for sure, you will be in the good place.
Thank you. And then I know, Juan Jr., you recently, you were Florida, Spain, back again. What do you see, different for you in both of those opportunities?
Yeah, well, the thing is, for me, I have always been a Wellingtonian. I've lived here since I was 10 years old, and I moved back in 2018, back to Europe, back to Spain. Yeah, I can say that I have grown up in the US, and now I have a dual citizenship too, the dual citizenship, and that is a huge opportunity that my parents have given me and my siblings, my sister and my younger brother. And this is a huge opportunity for us to be able to fly in, compete here, fly back to Europe next week or in 10 days and continue competing there. And it's just a huge opportunity that I'm forever thankful and grateful that I had it. And I just need to now make the best out of it and hopefully chase new opportunities and try to expand upon what my parents did already.
It's a great way to look at it. We had a question come in. Can we have a little bit of a further explanation on what was meant by classical good horsemanship, like some examples, and how you see people currently kind of going down the wrong path? What can we look out for?
Okay, for me, the only thing sometimes I don't really like too much in this country, in the States, the kids wants to compete too early before they know about horses. They know about not only about technique, about, like say, horsemanship, how to control the horses, how the horses think about, listen the horses in the competition, and then it's nothing about the blue ribbons. This is the end. This is not so important. And this is, I really, really insist. And then, I think it's priority in my concept of, of keep the kids really in this line. We are in the sport because we love horses. But we love horses means because we have the passion. And the passion comes from the stable to the blue ribbons. It's a long way, but every starts from the beginning, from the love we have for the horses. That's my feeling. Maybe it's too romantic. And then, of course, you go with the principal classic training and then all these things.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's really important.
Spot on.
It's my philosophy of living. And that's why, again, it's a style of lifestyle. Yeah. And then we share with the people the passion. That's made like many people say, well, Juan, you never drink, you never eat. You know what? When I'm close to the horses, I forgot. I don't remember I need to drink or eat. Maybe it's not too healthy, but it's my passion keeps me alive. And this is what I want to share with the kids, is the passion. The rest is not so important.
Okay, but you do need to eat and drink.
Sometimes at night.
No.
But this is at night. But when you see a new horse, you say, okay, I'm going to eat or I'm going to drink. And then you think, oh, I'm going to lose 30 minutes. But I see another horse in the warm-up, very interesting. Okay, I will eat or drink later. Maybe again, it's not too healthy, but it's what it is. Yeah, well, we can say crazy people.
No, there's quite a few on this call.
Yeah.
I don't want to dive into anything too personal. So you talk about what you're willing to talk about, and then skip whatever you're not comfortable with. But one has been through an awful lot in the last couple of years. A lot of people on this call have had head injuries we've talked about in the past, and I was curious if you'd be willing to kind of give us some insight to your injury and a little bit of what you went through trying to come back from that. All of us, we discuss in private a lot with, fears of coming back and how to try to not let that seep into our riding or even into our passion.
Yes. Well, the past 5th of May of 2020, I had a brain bleed that nearly cost me my life. I nearly died. Overall, the rehabilitation process, the rehabilitation procedure has been tough, has been very challenging with many ups and downs, many moments of disappointment, many moments of frustrations. Yes, but also some moments of beauty of, oh my gosh, I could move a hand, I could move a leg, I could remember things. And so it's really like a roller coaster. But in terms of competition and in terms of sport, I can now say that horses is my life. And the sport is a giant part of my day to day. You know, the challenges that we ride for, and yeah, I just love it so much that was what the passion that brought me back. You know, because of the focus and the amount of effort that we have to put in. You know, with our teammates, with our horses. That is the beauty of it, and that's what made me want to fight back. Yeah, even though my father has been the most challenging part of this process, because he's a very demanding trainer and a very demanding horse owner. And
no, I'm too intense. I'm too intense. I know I'm too intense. But you know what? We're back. That's the most important.
Better than ever. Better than ever.
Yes. I never treat Juan like he has this. Okay, I understand his program rehabilitation, but always we dream, we make big challenge, and again, in there, like Juan says. Makes a huge motivation. He never complained about anything. I know it was a long journey, right?
Okay. I never complain about anything. Come on, you were just getting me in trouble today for complaining about something about the training. Okay, but okay, I'm not one to complain much. I'm one that is very, very strict and very demanding and very tough on myself. And this, I'm guessing, is something that made it easier, not easy, easier for my father as a trainer. But you know,
it's some days, it's tough days, but you know, we enjoy together. That's the most important. Yeah,
it's wonderful to see. And I do. I was going to say, I wanted to clarify for everyone, it was not a horse-related injury. Is that that's correct?
Yes. Yeah. That's correct. I had a brain bleed from a congenital malformation, artervenous malformation, and it just burst when it had to happen. And thankfully it was in 2020, when there was no shows, no big goals for the year. The World Cup final had been canceled, which was a pity, because that's actually something I had mentioned in an interview that I did recently, that I was in Wellington trying to qualify for the Las Vegas World Cup final, and it was canceled. And then the Olympics were also canceled, and then my brain blew. It was like thing after another. But fortunately, the way that I see it was that I did not lose much in terms of competition, in terms of shows, and it couldn't have happened on a better year, and something that I'm forever thankful for.
It's a great way to look at it. Curious, coming back, did it inform your riding in any way? Did you relearn anything with more clarity or with less clarity than you thought you'd had before coming back?
No. Everything was exactly the same. Okay, I was very weak on my right side because of the hemiplexic state that I had come out from, and the 25 kilos that I had lost. All the muscle. And okay, at first, the first couple of months, I remember that I would fall every single day, and my dad would yell at me. He would get really angry at me because he would say, "Juan, focus and don't let yourself just drop." But I had no strength, and I would fall every single time out of the 3 horses that I would get on. I wouldn't ride. I would just get on and do a couple of trotting laps, and I would get exhausted. My breathing was also very much affected. I did not have a very good lung capacity because of the tubes and because of all of the pneumonia that I had, and I was very, very weak. And my dad would get you would get angry so every day. You would get so angry, you would yell at me, "Juan, focus and don't let yourself fall." And I would be like, "But Dad, like it's nothing that I can control. I just fall."
He fall every time. He was. Oh my goodness! I promise. He was so scary, so scary. What is okay? We can do it like a book or like a movie, because believe me.
Okay, but just so that I can describe how I felt. I would get off of my horses on the mountain block. That's how I usually get on and how I get off, always, from every horse. And as I would land on the mountain block with my right leg, because it was a weaker one, it was the side that I was hemiplexic at first, I would just literally fall. I would just fall from the top of the mountain block. I would just fall down.
Again, what a journey, I promise.
What a journey. That's to say the least.
Yeah.
And clearly your father was there to catch you every time.
No, not every time.
Always.
At times my dad would want to challenge me and say, "Okay, now you do it." And I would fall right on his face, and he would yell at me and say, "No, you stand up." And
okay. Well, maybe it's not the best way to rehabilitation, but we made it. Maybe the doctors see what they did, maybe they say we're completely insane people, but you know, actually Juan need to ride with the first day. Juan was so, remember?
I was so sore.
So
Oh
sore.
my goodness, in my butt cheeks.
I remember I was sitting in the corner and then I have a pillow, you know, in the chair. I was thinking, oh Juan, maybe we can do something. What happens if I put the pillow? And then
And we tied it to the saddle. Yes. So it was my butt, the pillow, from the chair or from the couch that was near the arena, and then the saddle. It was.
But it was a good one, right?
It was good. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's nice to know that, you know, other people are having a hard time with some things too. That's great for us to hear. We're curious. Can you tell us about the current competition horse and about, you know, the horse you're bringing, any horses you're bringing up through levels?
Yes, Quantico is my main horse at the moment. He's the Grand Prix that I have for the World Cup final, and he's my main horse. He's been the most challenging horse that I believe my father has ever had or ever owned. The most hot, the most sensitive, but one that has a lot of heart. He's very, very kind, very generous, very sweet. He tries for us. He works with us, and once he also just wants to give us his 1,000%. And at times it's a little bit too much, and I don't need the 1,000% of his engine, you know. But yeah, he's a super sweet horse, and just this past year, since 2021, I believe that maybe since 2019, we have unlocked a larger sense of depth in him, you know, and in this course.
We need to explain to the audience. His horse is not born for dressage at all. It's full jumping line for the father, for the mother, for, you know, it's really born to jump, not to do dressage. And like we say, he's a horse with nice gaits, but not mega gaits. But the inside of this horse, and then we really understand his reaction and his fear. He wants to do it for us, and that's why we make the beauty. In the end, dressage is all about harmony. Is, you know, to train together, to grow together. And Juan is right. He is a horse it was not easy in his conformation. It was too much blood, like as a jumper. Juan was very inexperienced, but in the end they grow together. We want to share with everybody things are possible when you make the right plan, when you wait, when you are not too much ambitious. It's nothing about you. It's about to listen what the horses need. They're happy to give you, but you need to learn from them. You need to listen. It's not only you program, it's what the horses feel at that moment, and give time. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty. You know, when the other day we make the 80%, it was like a picture, no? Like a kiss. And it comes so much from my inside, you know, to say thankful to the horse. And he was like a gentleman. I say, yes, I did it. He knows he did something special. And again, it's nothing about expensive horses. It's nothing about a huge gates. It's not, no, it was more beauty. Again, this is the love for the dressage, what makes us continue growing.
High five.
It's important we explain like this to the people, you know.
Yeah.
And this is the harmony we really want to. Okay, now is what happens with the technique?
you just muted and turned off the video there for a second.
We have no idea. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. I really insist to share this with the people. It's nothing about to be Olympics or to be in the finals. It's the journey is beautiful.
Wait.
No?
Okay, the journey is beautiful.
And
the journey is the most important, but come on. We want to achieve goals. I want to be Olympic like you. But I want to also the Europeans to World Cup finals.
See, that's the new kids. Nobody wants to be Olympics. Many riders wants to enjoy every day and create his own personal goals. They're not so ambitious like Juan. You know, these kids. They want to be. It's other side of the sport, and other side of the horse life. It's beautiful. No?
I can.
And maybe you don't get 80% at home. Only maybe your husband or your wife or your daughter give you 80%. But at the end of the day, when you go home, you feel really good.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, it's not only about, you see, it's not only about the blue ribbons. It's not. It's the heart blue ribbons. You need to, no? The philosophy, Juan, is just important. No? Some horses, no, but we have always this conversation. Horses sometimes they again, and riders, they don't have huge dreams, small dreams, but enough to enjoy every day and try to improve, right?
Mhm.
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No. You're not wrong. No, I think you're spot on.
Only few people are
It
able
was,
to.
it was a very
like
romantic
few
answer.
people are able to do this 80%. Or maybe I never did in my entire life. Also, when I was in the school, I don't think I get 80 in my notes. But you know, no, I don't remember. I never 80. No, I don't
know that. I would
was,
think that you would get
more
than a B.
Yeah, I was not that smart, but now these people go to the ring, and my goodness, it's cloudy. I know at night with all these things, and 80%. Oh my goodness, good for them.
It is very impressive.
Now, 65, you won the class. With 65, you won the class in our age, in our time. Now you need to own 80 and plus. Crazy.
That's a big difference. Big difference.
Oh my goodness.
I'm loving the family dynamic we're getting here. So I'm curious. I have a question here. Did both of you start out initially in dressage, and did you draw to dressage to kind of be more together? What was that journey like for both of you?
Okay, I need to say I start in jumping. When I was with 13, 14, 15, actually, I won the world champion in like a more or less like a university, like a U25 level in Normandy in the 1982. And then I was doing jumping and dressage. And Juan also the same, while you were doing eventing and dressage. And that makes so much fun. Because sometimes dressage riders, they are too conservative. And we need a little, like they feel like to be a little more wild. And coming from the eventing or the jumping, and these things, it really is really cool. Makes another impression on the horses. For me, it creates different personality. We still training a lot in 2 points trot, 2 points canters, and we make these huge canter to make the horses really fun and focus and stretching. Not always 20, 60 is too boring for them. Well, it's too claustrophobic. That's why it's nice to share with the kids like a dressage plus other things. Juan was actually quite good in eventing. Yeah, it was not too bad. No?
I wonder why. Maybe because the first was dressage.
No, you were doing both things, I remember. And actually, yeah, it was.
Okay, I began as a show jumper back in the day with the ponies. Actually, I didn't even start riding because I liked horses. My sister was the one with the passion for horses. Yes, I remember that I was just in taekwondo, football, tennis, swimming, running, all the sports, all the physical sports. But pony riding, no, I didn't really find it that attractive until I saw my sister getting bucked off from the pony, and then I was in my taekwondo outfit. Actually, I believe that my father or my mother actually has the video somewhere, and I told my dad, no, this pony must learn how to respect the rider, and I told him, may I get on him and just maybe show him, or I don't know what I was thinking, but I got on, and ever since I had such a good time that I began riding, and I would just compete. I would not ride at all. I would not show up any day of the week to ride, and I would just show, and I would compete, and it was a lot of fun with the jumping and the ponies and the pony club, and
that was really important. You're right. This is the only thing. Coming back to one of your questions before in the beginning, this is something I miss in the States. There's not enough classes for ponies. In Europe, like especially of course Germany, France, Holland, Belgium, there are a lot of classes for ponies, and then the kids start from there. And then I found in the States there are only few. That's very strange. The kids go straight into the horses. What I'm not sure if it's really good, and you know, and this step is a little too big for them in the beginning. That's the only thing I think it's a hole in the concept.
Okay, Dad, but I was also doing eventing, and I was doing short jumping. Yes. And then when I started doing dressage, I started doing juniors with Ondeo, which was a giant horse.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't have the opportunity to have ponies, but this is something we miss. You know, lucky you have a nice horse to teach you, but not everybody has the opportunity to have like a schoolmaster, something like this. And the pony start from the beginning. But you know, in the end, I saw more and more nice riders in the competition in Wellington. I mean, very, very classy riders, huh? Young kids, they coming is a good future coming, a very nice future. With no kids, with no basic, doesn't matter how rich you are, how good horses you are, it's going to be only in a very short way. You stay in the sport. If you have good foundation, good training, good programs, yeah, the sport in the United States will be healthy. What is what we're looking for, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great for us to hear. I guess we have a number of questions just regarding your daily training routine and
Yeah.
From the perspective of your horses as well as yourselves. Could we speak a little to what your daily life is like?
Sure. We begin in the morning, early in the morning, with the first horse, yeah, I believe that. What is a regular structure of training with us? How would you
In
describe it?
Spain, because in the States it's only one horse or two horses that we brought to compete. In Spain, we start early in the morning to afternoon, and then we start with the young horses with the 4 years old, and then to the Grand Prix levels, and then it's a very long journey. And then again, we really share like normally in the beginning of the week, we make very basic. For us, the most important is don't make the horses boring. It's all the concept goes through the motivation, and this is how we scale the horses. And then we hack a lot, we lunging a lot, we working in hand a lot, because working in hand, people get a very wrong concept. It's nothing to force the horse, it's to try to play with them and to move the horses to the natural way. And that's why we program daily the horses. Depends, during the week, which ones, the good ones, like I said, the old ones, maybe less, the young ones, they need twice a week. And this is how we make the routine. But the rest, it's in the end, able to have the same way, like stretching and then technique and then stretching. But again, we don't train in the 20-60 rectangle. This is, for me, it's very important. No, I can maybe once every 2 weeks, no more. Okay, we're in the show competition, the show moments, yes, twice a week, but not really daily. I think it's really a big frustration for them. They don't belong to the 20-60 rectangle. They belong to the whole atmosphere, where they get strong mind, and they have not really issues with the dogs, with the flowers, with the other people, because the world is a little more open for them. And this is our philosophy. And for us, works very well. We don't have actually any horses stupid and naughty in the ring. So no, they really trust. They trust the leadership. No?
Okay, but also don't talk so fast, because who knows if maybe tomorrow we might buy or find an investor that brings us a horse that is spooky or naughty in the ring. So don't talk so loud in case you bring the bad luck.
But this is, I explained to you many times, but it's always for a reason. When the horses goes naughty, it's a reason. It's very, very straight. Sometimes some is a reason. That's why we always bought horses for 2 years old, and then we grow them from the beginning. All our horses we buy with 2.5, and then we start everything. All the process is too long. Juan always complains, that it takes forever, and maybe it's right, it takes forever. But you know the personality of the horses, and then from there you adjust the program. When the horses come to us and you don't know nothing, what comes in the past is difficult. This is not so easy. And then, that's why we.
Okay, but that's why we're professional, and that's why you have developed. And I'm also developing the skill of knowing horses and through sport, and to have goals, achievable goals.
But again, we made it, but because we know them from the beginning, they are like a child, and then we raise them. And then again, we made the whole program. And then again, it's not only about the technique, it's the strategy. What are the goals and what are the capabilities they're able to do it? But again, Juan said it takes forever. Maybe you're right.
Listen, you just need to make the math. When you purchase a horse with 2 years old, you need to wait minimum 6 years until you begin doing small tours, CDI.
Yeah.
6 years, it's a long time.
But listen, there's 2 ways to do it. Or you pay the horses.
Yeah, okay, this is also true.
Or you build the horses, and then we have no sponsor. We do family of things, you know what I mean? And then again, takes forever. Yes, takes forever.
I know it's a formula that works. It has worked for us, and it will continue to do so. But I believe that in order to be at the top sport, we need to continue developing projects and continue finding horses that are a little bit older, like 6 or 7 year old horses that we could purchase, that I could begin riding, and in 1 or 2 years, maybe either flip, sell, or continue keeping for sport. I know that for this we need to have investors. We need to find
not easy
business partners. It's not easy. I know.
Not easy.
But this is why it's my generation's responsibility to scout, to open up, and to break with the molds of the past. Sorry, no, but because okay, what I mean is that
he tried to convince me every day. Sorry, maybe Juan, some people want to do questions.
Okay,
You talk too much.
okay. I talk a lot. This is very true. But what I'm
Sorry.
saying is that it's my generation to try to it's our responsibility to try to break with the molds, to try to break with what used to work, because of course that will continue to work. But we must try to search for new paths.
Innovation in every industry. That's
Yeah, but this industry is crazy. It's really the top ones is so expensive and so difficult to fund it. And again, I try to explain the young kids, the only way to do it is you get a young horse. If you already have horsemanship, you have education. You know what I mean? Education is not only technical education, it means also like a strategy, what you want to achieve, and takes a little longer or maybe too long, but in the end, you will achieve what you expect. Of course, I know it's other ways to do it, but we don't know how to do it. And then, yeah, for us, works. Now, Juan is right. Maybe will be better if we can get older horses. But again, yes, you jump, but you need to know the personality. You need to build the personality. You need to build the trust. And this is the beauty. This is the journey. And this is when the end you make 80%. That night you go to bed and you sleep. You say, you know what? Yes, I did it. The team works. Again, but yeah, kids makes his own plans. I know that.
That's fair. It's nice to have two different options. So it's good to know about both.
Two different perspectives. This is very true.
As far as the, we started this conversation with your day-to-day. Now that you're preparing for World Cup, does that change in any way? Is it your schedule change at all, or just what you're working on get sharper, but you keep the same routine?
We keep a pretty similar routine.
Actually,
okay, maybe we do a couple of days around the track in the sports complex. There's a nice path around, and we just go maybe for a couple of hacks.
The horse needs to be happy.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the normal routine. You work a little, deep into the level you want to achieve. Right now, he already makes a big success. He's already, for us, he's a winner. And now just keep the horse, like Juan explained, go into the track, look around, enjoy, be a horse, not be a dressage horse, be a horse, looking up, looking down, don't always with the neck tight and around. No. Looking around. And this is
very true.
Very important for him. And then 2 times a week, maybe just some moments we need to be sure he's with us. And then, but again, the most important is to make the horse and to explain him. We are very proud, and it's not going to be different. He knows the technique. It's going to be, of course, a big atmosphere in the finals. But again, for us, we already are winners. And then we are not going to make more stress or more effort. No, it's not going to be a big difference. 80 or 81%, we're still happy, right, Juan? We are not going for 90. And then that's why we want to keep our horse healthy. And it's our horse, understand? And again, if we need to force our horse to get a little more points, sorry, no, I will quit. I will say no.
And do you feel the same way for the rider, or are you more protective of the horses in that?
I'm more for the horses, sorry. Maybe, I know, I'm crazy that when I yell my son or I yell all the students, because my obligation, I understand for the trainer's job, we need to protect the horses for their own riding or for the misunderstanding. Because when we were young, we did that mistake. I don't want again, that's why, again, I passed this to my kids. And I saw many trainers too ambitious, and they forgot again, like we say in the beginning, we love the horses. And we're here because we love horses. And I mean, really deep love. And then I don't want to, no. It's sometimes we need to say like a big correction, you make one. But it's the same way you have in your family and you have your kids, sometimes you need to be strict, you strict. But don't mean you don't love your horse. If you pass the line, and then it's going to be cruelty. And I know, I don't want to be this line. And again, if my horse is going to, his limit is like whatever. Now we laugh about 80. If this is the limit, I'm not going to go for 81. You understand? For me, this is priority. Yeah. Maybe again, maybe I'm not too. I don't know. But you know, again, when I go home, I want to see my horse is not tired, and he's happy to see me, and he comes without calling. He comes to me. He's not going to be in the corner thinking, "Oh, again, this stupid trainer or stupid rider." Again, he wants more and more, and you know, more. No, sorry, more. No, enough is enough. Okay, that's my way of thinking.
Thank you. That's great to hear. You mentioned doing a lot of in-hand work. Some of us have conversations frequently. You really don't see that much. Could you talk to us about maybe what kind of exercises you do and where the best resources are for someone who doesn't have a trainer who works actively in hand to try to learn how to do these exercises?
The training, the working hand, it's something it's not very common in the States. We do a lot in Spain, you know, because we are very specialized in Piaf, Passage, and general. But we use the working hand to build the respect from the ground with the horses, and then they understand we're not going to be against them. And then we use, because it's really, really good gym for them without interfere from the weight from the rider or from the saddle pressure or for the nose. And then I grow with this, and I prove normal horses in the end, they become a big athletes because we build this exercise, like a lot of walk, half steps, transition, and then suppleness. And they are not afraid and they are not worried to the collection. And for us really work, and I promise normal horses makes a good horses because just from the ground, you explain them, you are going to be the leader. You are the alpha leader, they follow you, but don't mean again, you're not going to be rush them. I saw some, they call trainers, they're too aggressive with the working hand. That's why many professional or amateur or owner horses, they don't like it. Because they say, no, but you kicking on, I touch with my whips. I never force, I never kick the horses. I don't make pain. And then as long as you respect this concept, working hand is amazing exercise for them. I mean, really amazing. But again, as long they trust me, because they saw you walking with them, and then you come with the big whip or whatever, and then you're going to kick them, they go afraid. And then what you create is the opposite. They're afraid to me, and they go tense, and then that's not right. But you need to have, again, you need to be really a horsemanship. You need to know exactly how much, how, when, and build this respect from the ground. As it's not always easy. It's easy for the riders when they see it, you know, left, right, left leg, right leg, and then they aids. But for the ground, it's more about respect, because you have nothing. You have only, and actually some people does with draw reins or side reins. I do with nothing. Nothing means with my snaffle. And it's all about communication, about what I can produce with my voice and what I can produce with my half faults to the contact. And this is how you build the power, not because you go against them. And not many people are able to do it. And sometimes, you know, horses run or they won't understand, and then it's not easy to manage. If you don't have the right experience or you have the right teacher to explain you step by step, it's better don't do it, because could be dangerous, of course. Could be very dangerous, no doubt. Yeah.
So I know we can find almost anything on YouTube, but who would be a good one of the people you would consider good at doing this that our members should try to focus on learning from?
It's a very, I would say, artistic based personal touch, you know. I can recommend, okay, most we say there are a lot of experience with South American trainers or in Spain or Portuguese school, because they are really in that like artistic school. They are very good on that things. You don't see Europeans like Germans or Dutch people so good in this working hand, maybe good in other stuff, in going forward and create power but in these things you need to be very, very light, and the energy, the vibes you give to the horses, it needs to be very, how we say, smooth. But I can, names is very hard. I believe there are not many in the world, because again, it's not easy. Some people, they don't believe it's a good thing. I promise, it's huge. How the horses improve, how you create motivation, how you from the ground, you build the auto-esteem on the horses, like they're able to do it. But again, you need to respect the horses, and you need to be able from the ground to read in the mind of the horses what they need and when is the time to touch. Not many people are able to do it. What is a pity. I really pass to my kids. I know the next generation, Matute generation, they will continue what I learned, I pass to them. Not only be a rider, also for the ground. I really enjoy. Sometimes see Paula and Juan working hand together and few steps and pat him, and very nice. Yes.
And when you're doing the in hand, do you also use long lines, or are you more? No.
No, I know some people does the long lines, but again, that's my perspective. I want to be very close to the horse. I need to see inside his eyes. This is very important. That's why actually I never work in hand with my sunglasses. No, I need a deep look into them, and they're looking at me. This is when you start, the same way you have a conversation with somebody else. I don't like when people talk to you and still with a glass. I need to see the expression in the eyes. And that makes me a lot of confidence when I work with them. And again, the long lines, maybe it's good. Some people, I understand. For me, it's not my concept. I want to be always in the front, always I give space for them to move close to me, and then I really play with them. But again, this is my perspective. I grow with this, and maybe it's a little harder. I need to say it's not that easy to control sometimes the horses. The young ones sometimes could be really strong. The stallions, they really challenge you a lot. I say, hey, who are you? And then whatever. But this, so far, I'm still alive. No one accident so far. And then, okay, sometimes, of course, sometimes I'm not able to handle it. They run away, and they scare everybody. Everybody left the arena, say, oh, this is too much. But no, it's a very good time. Yeah, I really enjoy to do it. Yeah, I have this special. Actually, I'm not riding myself anymore. I have very bad hips, but I still, Juan and Paula, they ride the horses. But for the ground, I still building this communication, and it's beautiful. Yeah, really, I really enjoy it.
I'm getting some questions in the chat. When you teach clinics sometimes, and do you ever do the in-hand work in clinics to try to? Do you think you can help the horse with in-hand in that way,
yes.
or can a person learn how to
yes, both.
That quickly?
Yeah, when Juan does the clinics, and also me, because we grow with this thing. We try to understand the horses, especially in the clinics. You don't know the horses, and you do the normal program, and then you always miss something. And always I try to play 5 minutes. Again, when the horses, they don't know the job, it's very hard that day pass to the beginner with not experience with the work in hand, because could be dangerous, could be challenging. But myself, we play a lot, and then we start building this communication from the beginning. If you have the continuity in the clinics, when Nomad does the concept, then yes, and then you start slowly to explain. But not many people want to do it, because it's a very thin line to be good or to be with not really under control. That's why people don't want really to try. But sometimes I understand, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of questions around your comments on buying a younger horse. We'll go back to that if we dare. What kind of qualities do you look for when you're purchasing a young horse that you're looking to develop forward into the future?
Okay, I know many people looking for the gaits. For me, the gaits are the less what I really see. For me, it's important. Best, I need to be attached by his personality. Again, you need to look for the inside of the horse. The gaits is part of the journey, but the most important is the inside. And then I'm looking for the inside. And then always I'm looking for natural balance. Balance don't mean gaits, balance. And then when you see a horse with normal gait, but always connected, makes me like, I'm going to pay attention. From there, if I see a nice canter, even better. And the walk needs to be, for me, it's okay. And the trot is okay, something you can build. Of course, if you have big money, maybe you can buy a horse with the 3 gates plus all these things. But normal, like we are professional, we must decide, okay, which one you go, for walk or for the balance, for trot or for the inside. And then that's why, for me, yeah, I'm not really fan for the big gates. I think it creates so much difficulties to train then for future, in the end. In my concept, my goal is to train Grand Prix horses. And the Grand Prix horses is not only about the lengthening, it's much more about balance, connection, in, out, and this is readability, soften the contact. That's why I'm working. I mean, when I go to see these horses, as long as you have this nice natural balance with a nice beauty and nice expression, like something they say, okay, look at me, I go into them. Yeah. Again, I know people want the big gates, they're looking for 9s and 10s. I'm more humble. 8 for me works. With 8 works. Yes.
Fair enough. And then at what point in that journey you get the younger horse you're focused on, you know, the mindset and things, and then as you work through, what point in that journey are you sure that this is a Grand Prix level horse that you've got on your hands?
Yeah, this is the big question. This is difficult, you know. Again, because I am working in hand, without interfere from the rider, depends how good you are, just from them, when you ask, they give you some things. They give you the ambitions. He wants to move, but you say, no, you will stay with me. And he wants to go, but you see the natural locomotion up there. And this is something I really look at from them. Yeah. And then you say, oh, this back, oh, this reaction. And then you start dreaming. I say, I have something. And then from there, then it's going to be different. You say it's going to be a Grand Prix, like 80% horse or 65%. But for sure, you already see things you can use and you can organize and make the program to build a Grand Prix horse. That's for sure. The quality then into the Grand Prix is the next question. But to build a Grand Prix, you see some no reaction, no motivation, no ambition. They don't want to interact with me. And then this one, I don't have any interest in them. No. That's why sometimes the jumpers are really good, because jumpers are very much like I said, survivors. They have not the best gates, but they always need to pass the jump. You know, they cannot stay more or less. No. You jump or you fail, but this needs to be clear. And always are looking sometimes for this jumper reaction. They want to do it. They want to pass the fence. And when I work in hand, again, they want to come with me out of the control. And this is, for us, work in the Matute family works this way, you know.
Thank you for that. That's great. And what does a Grand Prix horse's year look like? If you're preparing for competition and then competition, do you give time off in between? And what kind of time off does that look like?
Yeah, okay, this is something important. When you want to, before you start the season, you need to do the program, you need to go, what goals you want to achieve. And then you really need to be focused in the calendar. And then every time when I finish my training program, every 1 day or 2 days, I make my notes. And then if I'm going to be close or not to these goals. And this is what I start playing with them. You know, some horses are very smart and you need to be slowed down in the training. Some horses needs to be to reeducate and to get the motivation. And you play with them, but it's the strategy. Without strategy in the sport, there's no way to success. Because you cannot always keep the horses in the top mood to be to the level, because there is no way. Like we humans, we cannot stay always ready to go to the exam every single day. No, up and downs. Again, the motivation. Don't ride too much dressage, canter, enjoy outside. And then we need to be focused. Okay, conditioning is different. You always need to have the horse needs to have always good condition. But condition don't mean repetition in the exercise. This is, in my opinion, in my way of thinking, completely wrong. No. You know, like a cantering 2 points with a big canter, sometimes it's more benefits as to ride 20 times changes or 20 times pirouettes. Because in the end, maybe you use the horse, but you don't build nothing. And build means, again, it's all about the mind. When the mind is fresh and is happy, you can really organize the program. But if in the beginning, when the program, something happens, they're boring, and then you're in troubles. Yeah. But the calendar is important as long as the horse are happy in the mind, and then it's easy to keep. This is the difficulty in the training, my opinion. Again, to get 1 year competition is impossible to have. Now you need to by section, 3 months, and then easy lunging. Nobody wants to lunge the horse. Lunging is so good. I really believe the lunging when it's calm, relax, and again, let the horse be horses, and then you can say in the beginning I can do like the Wellington circuit. Now 3 months easy. And then we start again from July to September again. And then you a nice break. And then you start the World Cup circle again in the end of the year. But it needs a lot of work, a lot of notes to be sure you don't overdo it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Little question. Do you use ground poles or cavalettis to help break things up?
I'm in the place, it's only dressage riders. I would love to have the cavalettis. It's really inconvenient, very, very good, very good. But you know, sometimes in the cabaret arenas, there is no space and people complain and this, and then if we have my own place, for sure, yes, yes. Because in the end, again, is to do something different. And to pass the cavalettis, to stretch the body is normal. This is really good. This is really good. Juan now makes, and jumping. If Juan was younger, we jump like once a week. That was super good. Not too big, a little bit, but that was good. Cavaletti is awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, and then you can play with the distance, you can play with the height, and the horse is always, again, you see, you get this natural body reaction. And this is, again, kids, this new generation can't miss these things, you know, to the journey to play with them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. And then there's a question here. The horse that Juan Jr. is currently riding mentioned that was bred for jumping, really.
Full jumping, yes.
How did he come to you? Did someone, did he just not feel like he wanted to be a jumper? Did someone bring him to you? Or you saw him?
I was in the stallion selection in Germany. And then I was not able to buy any horse because all horses, what I love it, it was too expensive. And then end of the day, I remember it was like 4 p.m. in Germany after from the journey from 4 in the morning, 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, too many horses and nothing I can really fit my budget, right? And then I saw this horse and I was speaking with somebody else and this horse turned the face and looked at me so deep and then, oh my. And then, but he was a jumper. I don't really even pay attention to him, but something, we look each other, you know what I mean? And then he chose me. He's the one, he said, who are you? And then I was okay, jumper, no, whatever. I don't pay attention. Next day, I saw the horse in the longing. And then something, I thought, oh, it's a nice horse. I don't want to say it's a good horse. It's a nice horse. And then, of course, no chance to buy an expensive horse. And then I was sitting there and then came this horse. Nobody wants to buy it. And then I said to them, okay, I love this horse. I want to buy it. And then my friends say, but Juan, he's a jumper. What are you doing? Okay, I don't know. I love it. And then I bought it. It was not expensive. And then, yeah, it was like Juan said, it was a long journey since he was 2 years old to now. It was not always easy because confirmation-wise, it was not easy, but we believe in the horse and he loves us. He really does. And again, now sometimes when he can compete, I say, oh, he really looks like a dressage horse. You know, I'm still impressed. Like, oh, now he's completely, he changed his conformation. And we're very proud, yeah. And also for my kids, for Paula, for Juan, is something like now we know we can build a horse. Also with no gates, also with no pedigree in the blood. It's not famous line, but this is important for them. And then again, this is part of the journey, and this is part to be the horsemanship, yeah. But he chose me. Remember, he's the one first. He looked at me and say, "Hey, you know, I like you," and then that was the beginning.
That's so great. You're getting a lot of notes in the chat. We have a lot of fans for this story right now. This is so wonderful. Thank you.
And it's true. And you know what I mean? And people know he saw Juan from the beginning, and it was almost impossible to make a halt at X. And he saw all the journey. And now I saw many people, like in the last competition in Wellington, they saw Juan growing and Quantico growing. And Juan made that beautiful test with so much harmony, with so much, you know, connection between that. That was really something to cry. Because this is when it's worth it, you know what I mean? The journey, and it was beautiful, very emotional. Yeah, for normal horse to 80% horse. Wow, that was really good. Yeah,
so great.
Yes,
fantastic. And then let's see. We have a question here. If you could comment on the PREs, the differences that you see with warm bloods to the PRE breeds.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the differences there and how their strengths and weaknesses play out?
Okay, in general, we need to say it's different type of conformation, and one's a breed always for big, powerful horses. The Iberian horses are more for, you know, collection, for more enjoy, for more amateur levels. We were looking that years ago for that big levels. But I need to say the Iberian horses, they are very easy to get motivation. They're so happy to love the rider, to enjoy. That's made if it's powerful or not powerful, they always try hard. And this is why we call the horses for the king, because always with us. And the Womblats are beautiful, they're powerful, very athletic, but not always to keep in your side. In terms of training, of course, one horses, the Womblats, I will say more than the huge running, huge lengthening, difficult to keep together, lot of work to keep together. And the other ones, the Iberian horses, is the other way, easy to collect. You need to spend more time to stretching and to make more elastic. But one way or the way, good riding and good training is good training. In the journey, yes, the Iberian horses are so soft, so nice to see, so nice in the mouth, and super smart. They're really smart horses. And this is, in the end of the day, you also enjoy when you have a horse, he wants to please you, you know. But again, good horse is a good horse, Iberian or Womblats. I'm on in both. Absolutely.
Thank you. We won't quote you as being a fan of one or the other.
Yes.
I've got some questions in the chat around the other half of your family. What is your daughter up to and her plans for the year? What does the whole family dynamic look like?
Okay, Paula, she lives in Wellington, and we live in Spain, and then we try, when the season we share together. She has his own strategy. She's really a good trainer and very good rider, very positive. Not always, she's most of the time alone. She's not like Juan, we are together. She's most of the time by herself. But she has a very good concept, very good basic in the training. And she has also big goals. But okay, it's a difference when you are in Europe. You can really go to all these big competition when she's by herself in Wellington. You have only this 3 month competition. Now, few shows in Ocala, few shows maybe in Tryon, but it's a little more difficult for her to do the journey. Yeah, I can imagine for her it must be difficult. For us, we have so many options to do it. Yeah.
That's great.
But it's a crazy family. Believe me, it's a crazy family.
Well,
and my little son, I have my little son, thanks God, is not in the horse world. It's just, he's a soccer player. Thanks God. Yeah, no, I'm too old for this. 3 in the family. We different. No. Can you imagine? Maybe he will be a jumper, or he will decide to be an eventing, and then no, or Western or whatever. Or no. So happy. 3 with 2 is enough. Yeah, but we're fine. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for your time and letting us get a little peek to what your daily life is like. This has been incredible. Everyone is really, really thankful for your sharing both of your perspectives, even when they don't match up. It's wonderful to see how you talk through and try to work through all of the options. Thank you, Paul. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
We're looking forward
Anytime.
to cheering you on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Bye. Good night.
Have a good one.
Good one. Bye-bye. ¿Vamos a apagar eso?